They flew me to a Navy surgical facility, and by the time I got there, I'd completely bled out, and they gave me all of the A positive blood they had stored, and it wasn't enough. And then they did something cool. They went to the mess hall and they said, attention, attention, we need your help. If you have A positive blood, come and help. And 25 sailors and Marines came and donated their blood, and it's straight into my veins, and it saved my life. And what's great about that story is, like, not one person said, well, is he a Republican? Is he a Democrat? Is he black? Is he white? Is he gay? Is he straight? Nobody cares, because as Americans, we knew then that we were together in this thing, and so those guys did that for me without caring who I was, other than that I was American, because we have more in common that unites us than the things that divide us. And our culture and our society tries to rip us apart, but as Americans, we're better than that. And I just feel like that lesson that I learned that day, actually, I was unconscious for several more weeks, but that lesson is so important, that we can do things together. We can do hard things together, like the hard thing of them saving my life. Around 1st of September, we went into Ramadi, Iraq, which is, at the time, was the most dangerous city in Iraq. And that became totally clear to me 14 days later, on September 14th, when my first soldier was killed in action. His name was Tyler Brown. He's buried not far from here at Arlington National Cemetery in Virginia. When Tyler was killed, our war shifted, because we thought, when I went there, we sort of had this mindset that we were going to be doing peacekeeping, that we were going to be doing nation building and community relations, and then all of a sudden we were in combat, and we were fighting, and we were fighting, and we were fighting. Every day we'd have IEDs, every day we'd have small arms fire, rocket-propelled grenades. We were in combat. On November 10th, 2004, I was wounded for the first time in a firefight where it was a nighttime firefight where we were ambushed by some enemy who had probably been flushed out of Fallujah in the previous couple of days and came over and were attacking us. And so we were in this firefight, and we were engaging some enemy, and a rocket-propelled grenade came off the top of this building and hit my tank and instantly killed my loader, a kid named Dennis Miller from southern Michigan, from a town named LaSalle, Michigan. Dennis was killed instantly. I was wounded, and we kept fighting for a few more moments, and then we continued our mission out of that area. And for that fight, I was awarded my first Purple Heart, and was decorated for valor because I kept fighting while we were under enemy fire. When something like that happens, you're just in this moment where it's like, holy cow, what do I do? And what we do as a soldier, what you do when you're struck down, what you do when you're hurt, is you just keep fighting, you keep working, you keep doing what you have to do, because, again, there's a higher purpose. And the purpose is always serve the Constitution, and then below that is the purpose, serve your fellow man, and below that is the sort of stay alive, and it's stacked in that order. And so we just kept fighting, we just kept doing our work. 2 months later, on January 10th, 2005, I was seriously wounded by a roadside bomb that we knew there was always a threat of roadside bombs. In this particular case, I didn't see it, I didn't know anything, I didn't know it was there or anything like that, and I just woke up on my back in the ditch, and my soldiers were caring for me. I was already on a stretcher, they were caring for me, and they were taking care of my legs, and I remember lifting up my head and looking, and I could see my body armor was blown open, I could see Kevlar everywhere, and I could see that I was bleeding, and my soldiers were working on my legs, and I said, "Are my legs okay?" And they said, "Sir, you're going to be fine." And anybody who's seen a war movie knows that "sir, you're going to be fine" means you're probably going to die, that you're really hurt bad. So I was in and out of consciousness in the ditch for a little while. The soldiers cared for me. They called a helicopter, and a Marine Corps helicopter came to get me. My last memory from Iraq is when the helicopter began to lift off. There's a certain sort of motion that a helicopter makes when it lifts off, and as it lifted off, I remember thinking, oh, thank God I'm saved, and that was my last memory from Iraq. During that time, I was having surgery every day, or twice a day in some cases. It wasn't clear at all that I was going to live. It was very touch and go for a variety of reasons for quite some time, for a couple months. And God got me through that time, and my faith in my family and the generosity and love of the American people in terms of the resources they provide for seriously injured soldiers was awesome, and they saved my life. I'm Daniel Gade, and I'm running for United States Senate in Virginia. I served in combat, serving my fellow Americans for 5.5 months, and was wounded twice. I consider this race an extension of my military service, and I will continue to serve Virginians and continue to serve the United States as a United States Senator.